When I was a kid, of about 9 to 10 years old, my favorite movie was The Reluctant Dragon by Walt Disney. Not the whole Robert Benchley studio tour part, that wasn't available back then. No, just the animated short. I thought it was magical. It was about this old knight and a young boy who were supposed to save the town from the menace of a dragon, but when they get there they find out that all the dragon really likes to do is recite bad poetry and host tea parties. It was a fun story, and believe me, it's way cooler than it sounds. So, armed with that nostalgia, I went and picked up Monster on the Hill. Is it any good? Well, I'm David Marcel, this is my comic obsession, and we're going to find out! Monster on the Hill is one of those rare, special books that you pick up and you're not really sure what you were going to expect, but then you read the first couple of pages and it just hooks you and you just don't want to put it down. In the world of Monster on the Hill, which takes place in 19th century England, every small village in the country has their own monster. And this monster is a source of pride for the village. Businesses are built up around monster attacks, with souvenir shops selling cards, toys, and rubble from the newest attacks. Only Stoker-on-Avon isn't doing so well. The most they hear from their monster Rayburn is moaning and sighing. Where other towns are high on post-terror adrenaline rushes, the folks of Stoker-on-Avon get depressed with all the moaning. After 7 years with only one half-hearted attack, which was just Rayburn getting some gum, the town decides to do something about the situation. They hire Dr. Charles Wilkie, the disgraced and exiled town mad scientists, to go and fix Rayburn, with the promise of being reinstated and allowed back into his lab if he succeeds. The townspeople don't seem to worry about Rayburn eating the doc, which the monster comments that he's not sure whether Wilkie or he should be more insulted. Timothy the town urchin tags along as well. The unlikely trio decides to go visit some of Rayburn's old school pals, starting with Noodles, aka Tentaclor, adored and feared by all. Heck, he even has his own trading card. Some of the funniest character interactions in the book come from Tentaclor, so I'm not going to spoil it for you here. Unfortunately, while Rayburn is off finding himself, the people of Stoker-on-Avon discover that monsters also serve another purpose other than helping the local economy. Because while the monster is away, a creature called the Merc preys on towns unprotected by monsters. With Rayburn gone, the foul creature moves in and starts to tear the place apart. Will our heroes make it back in time to save the village? Will Rayburn become a scary monster, or will his love for Hot Pockets and caramel corn be his downfall? I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but of course everything works out just fine. Monster on the Hill manages to strike that special balance of being kid-friendly without being stupid, and cute without being cavity-inducing. It doesn't turn older readers off. Now it says the reading age is 9 to 12, but I think you probably know your little monster, and if you give this a read first, you'll know if they can handle this or not.
The verdict.
I love this story. The beginning of it reminded me of The Reluctant Dragon, you know, where the boy and Sir Giles go to meet the dragon and he invites them for tea, and here Wilkie's and the urchin also go to meet the monster and he invites them in for tea. The comparison stops there, of course, but this whiff of nostalgia is just the cherry on the sundae of awesomeness. Harrell knows how to tell his story. His characters are just so lovable and so charming and alive, and the length is perfect. It leaves you wanting just that little bit more, you know? It just never wears out its welcome, so I'm giving this 5 stars. Artwork. Rob Harrell does an excellent job bringing his characters to life. They're both simple, but at the same time complex. It looks minimalistic on the surface, but when you scratch, there's just always a little more detail waiting to be found. I mean, there's just a real life and a whimsy to the characters, which is great. The backgrounds he draws don't distract you from the characters, but if you bother to look at them, there's a ton of detail hiding in there. This is just great. I'm also giving this 5 stars. Digital enjoyability. This is where the book suffers a bit. It's not that the zoom is necessary, except for in 1 or 2 panels, and when you do get it, it goes up to 2 times the original size. The problem isn't the zoom though, the problem are the margins. See, this book was meant to be read in print form. It's definitely a square format, so it leaves you with a lot of dead space on the page, especially if you're not using a Kindle reader, but say an iPad or something. You're going to have some dead space on the sides and some dead space on the top and bottom. So here, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Again, if you're going to pick this book up to read with your kid, get it in print format. It's just better in this case. Value for money. This book is just a little shy of $12 in print form and $10 in Kindle form. But if you're getting it for your younger reader, you're definitely going to get a lot of mileage out of this. So I'd say it's worth it. 5 stars here. Monster on the Hill is funny, quirky. It's a book for all ages. Whether you're getting this for yourself or if you're getting it for your little monster to share, this is an excellent choice. So that's my review of Monster on the Hill. Please be sure to check out one of these other videos, like and subscribe below, and share this video with your friends and family. I'm David Marcel, and until next time, this is my comic book obsession.